जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Padita Pavana Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada, Paramhans Parivrajikacharya, Shtuta Shat Shri Srimad His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitya Leela Pravishya Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajikacharya, Shtuta Shat Shri Srimad His Divine Grace, Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki, Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय संवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की जय all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna all glories to Riguri and Prabhupada ki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritte Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीमुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10th, chapter number 23, verse number 20 to 25. So we'll just go through 20 to 24 and then we'll recite 25. So verse number 20 and 21, both together. Nishidhyamanaha pratirбhir mradbhir bandhubhi sutaiha bhagvat yuttama shloke dirghashrut dhritashayah yamuno pavane shlokan vapallavamandite vicharanta vritam gopai sagrajam dadrishuhu striyah. Translation: although their husbands, brothers, sons, and other relatives tried to forbid them from going, their hope of seeing Krishna, cultivated by extensive hearing of his transcendental qualities, won out. Along the river Yamuna, within a garden decorated with buds of Ashoka trees, they caught sight of him. He means Krishna, strolling along in the company of cowherd boys and his elder brother Balaram. Verse 22. Shyamam harinya paridhimban malyabarha dhatu pravalan tavesh manuvritanse vinyastahasta mitrena dhunam abjam karnotpalalaka kapola muhabjahasam. Translation: his complexion was dark, blue, and his garment golden, wearing a peacock feather, colored minerals, sprigs of flower buds, and a garland of forest flowers and leaves. He was dressed just like a dramatic dancer. He rested one hand upon the shoulder of his friend, with the other twirled a lotus. Lilies graced his ears, his hair hung down over his cheeks, and his lotus-like face was smiling. 23. Prayashuta priya tamodakar karnapurair yasmin namanna manasat mathakshirandhai antam antah pravesha suchiram paribhyatapam pragyam yathabhimatayo vijahur narendra. A ruler, translation, a ruler, O ruler of men. For a long time, those Brahmana ladies had heard about Krishna, their beloved, and his glories had become the constant ornaments of their ears. Indeed, their minds were always absorbed in him. Through the apertures of their eyes, they now forced him to enter within their hearts. Then they embraced him within for a long time. In this way, they finally gave up the pain of separation from him, just as sages give up the anxiety of false ego by embracing their innermost consciousness. Verse 24. Tas tatha सर्वाशाः प्राप्ता आत्मा दिदृश्यया विज्ञायाखिल दृग्दृष्टा प्राह प्रहसिताननः. So translation, Lord Krishna, who witnesses the thoughts of all creatures, understood how those ladies had abandoned all worldly hopes and come there simply to see him. Thus, he addressed them as follows with a smile upon his face. So now Krishna is addressing the Brahman Patnis, the Brahman wives. The verse number 25, we'll recite together. Swagatam vo mahabhaga asyatam karvam kim yanno didrakshaya prapta uppannamidam hivaha. Swagatam vo mahabhaga asyatam karvam kim yanno didrakshaya prapta uppannamidam hivaha. Swagatam vo mahabhaga asyatam karvam kim yanno didrashya prapta uppannamidam hivaha. Swagatam vo mahabhaga asyatam karvam kim yanno didrashya prapta uppannamidam hivaha. Agatam ho mahabhaga asyatam karma kim yanno didrakshaya prapta uppannamidam hivaha. Swagatam vo mahabhaga asyatam karma kim Nityayosi Shaya Prapta Uppannamidam Hivaha. Matajis. Swagatam vo mahabhaga asyatam karmavkim yanno digdashaya prapta uppannamidam hivaha. Okay. Word by word translation. Suagatam, auspicious welcome. Vaha, for you. Mahabhagah, O fortunate ladies. Asyatam, please come, sit. Karavama, I can do. Kim, what? Yat, because. Naha, us. Didrakshaya, with the desire of seeing. Praptah, you have come. Upapannam, fitting. Idam, this. He, certainly. Vaha, on your part. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and his disciples. Jagadu Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The translation. Lord Krishna said, welcome, O most fortunate ladies, please sit down and make yourselves comfortable. What can I do for you? That you have come here to see me is most appropriate. Purport. Just as Sri Krishna welcomed the gopis who came to dance with him at night, he similarly welcomed the Brahmana wives whose pure love for him was proved by their overcoming many hindrances to see the Lord. The word Upapannam indicates that although these ladies had rejected their husbands' orders, their behavior was not at all inappropriate, since their husbands had obviously tried to obstruct their loving service to Lord Krishna. Om Jnanadinandasya Jnananjana Shilakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Varijana Zaritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Nitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinu Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Ram Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine. Hare Krishna. So today we are here to contemplate on the beautiful verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 23, the Brahmana's wives blessed. So there's a story of Brahmana wives with the pastimes of Krishna. Krishna specially came to bless them. So we're trying to discuss this. Although I'm not at all eligible to speak anything on the subject matter, the transcendental subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam, but still I would like to take the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. Please bless me so that I can continue and complete this service as given by the authorities. And so today I was going through Prabhupada's description of this chapter. So there I found wonderful things. So whatever Prabhupada has given to us through his writings, yesterday Vedanta was also sharing that, okay, yes, Krishna, Srila Prabhupada is not with us, but he is with us through his writings. So whatever Srila Prabhupada writes, he writes in a context that we can understand. On the contrary, Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada, he used to write in an English that Englishmen used to have a dictionary to understand. But for Prabhupada, he gave it in an English that everyone can understand. And that is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So So Srila Prabhupada was explaining that there are 3 types of ceremonies. So the Brahmanas goes through. One is, and primarily Vaishnavas are also aware of those 3 kind of ceremonies. So what are these ceremonies? So one is very important for all the disciples, which is the Diksha ceremony. We all know what Diksha ceremony is. So when you have Diksha ceremony, especially all the initiated devotees, you know that you cannot eat anything before Diksha. You should be receiving Diksha from Guru. After that, you should go out for Bhiksha. After Diksha, you go out for Bhiksha. And then after that, you can, honor Prasad, right? So, Diksha ceremony is the one wherein you can take food only after the whole procedure is complete. But there are other procedures, Vedic procedures, like Pashu Samstha. This is one of the Vedic rituals wherein animal is being, offered in the yagna. In those situations, food can be taken before the ritual, but food cannot be taken out after the ritual. Right? Before the ritual only you should take food. And there's another ritual which is called Sautramani. Sautramani is wherein you offer liquor to the deities. So in earlier you were offering a whole animal to the deity, and here you are offering liquor to the deity. In this also there are other rules. So there are different types of ceremonies. So some food can be taken when and where is also a very important subject matter. So now coming back to the food thing. So now the point is that this story is going on wherein Krishna, because of arrangement of Yogamaya, makes the cowherd boys very hungry and they are looking out for food. So a devotee doesn't go to anyone. A devotee goes to Krishna. Whatever needs the devotee has, he goes out to Krishna. So all the cowherd boys did not start going here and there and looking for fruits and the trees or something to eat. No, they went to Krishna and said, Krishna, I don't know what is happening today. By some or the other arrangement, we are feeling very, very hungry. So we need food. So Krishna said, Krishna is only managing the whole hunger also. Because as we discussed once again, earlier we have discussed once that, a pure devotee who has been liberated doesn't feel hunger, doesn't feel thirst, and he is completely beyond all the kleshas. And also, the pain of, old age and diseases, and he is completely free from all these material worldly things which are under the 3 modes of nature, material nature. So, as a devotee, pure devotee, they should not be feeling hungry. Why they are feeling hungry is simply Krishna's arrangement, and Krishna is daily performing some or the other pastime, and here he wants to show something. See, every pastime Krishna gives some learning to his own devotees. It's not just to the pure devotees, to any single devotee at any level of consciousness. The whole story has learning for the Brahmanas who are smart Brahmanas. It has learning for the wives of the Brahmanas. It has learning for the cowherds of Krishna, cowherd boys of Krishna. And definitely the whole pastime of Srimad Bhagavatam and the words of Srimad Bhagavatam and the verses of Bhagavatam, a great learning for all of us. So definitely there is enormous learning for every single living entity. Now, the first learning here we get is the thirst, the hunger of cowherd boys was because of Krishna's Yogmaya's arrangement. Krishna's Yogmaya makes this arrangement. Now they are hungry, what next? Now that hungry, they went to Krishna and asked for, what arrangement do you have, Krishna, for us today? So sometimes Krishna will ask a tree to produce fruits and drop the fruits for the cowherd boys. The other time he will say, okay, no, today I am not going to give you a fruit so easily. So what? Okay, go and beg for food. Now Krishna is the most opulent personality in all the universes. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is all the Aishwaryas. But after that, apart from that, he is asking his own most intimate friends, cowherd boys, to go and beg for food. This is completely an anomaly. So now, Krishna, when he requests, so okay, all right, go to the Brahmanas, the smart Brahmanas. And the smart Brahmanas are so much puffed up in their own false ego. Why? Why did not the Brahmanas, the smart Brahmanas, recognize Krishna? Why did not they recognize Krishna and Balram? Because Krishna was not the goal of their life. Vedeshta sarvair ahameva vedyo vedanta krit veda vida evacham. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that I am the one who needs to be known through all the Vedic literature you are going through. So Krishna is the one who needs to be known through all the Vedic literature. There is no doubt about it. So then these smart Brahmanas, because they desire to go to Swarga. They want to have Swargavasi. They wanted to become Swargavasi. So even in today, you go to people when they die, so their sons or their family members write Swargavasi. Shri, this name. So they want everybody to still be Swargavasi. But Swarga is not the best place. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us. Swarga is not the best place. But these puffed up Brahmanas, the smart Brahmanas, they have been taught Karmakand in a way that they thought that Swarga is the highest place for us to enjoy. A karmi always wants to enjoy, and they wanted to enjoy, so they wanted to go to Swarga. But the problem with Swarga is Shine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti, which means that after all your pious deeds, the results of your pious deeds are over. The bank account is done with. You will fall back to the Martya Lokam, which is the planet Earth. And you'll again take a human form, and then you'll have to again start it from a big zero. That's what the point is. So that means you go earn. In America, I went to US and I found people are very interesting. They earn for 6 months very nicely, and then for 6 months they go out on a holiday. Enjoy their lives like anything, and come back again for 6 months they'll work. Therefore, Indians are valued very much. They work 24 months. All the year Indians are working. They don't take holidays. So therefore, Americans prefer Indians as their employees, right? So therefore, Indians are valued. Anyways, so these people, the same is applying to this. Go, do work hard, do a lot of pious activities, do a lot of yagnas, go to Swarg, come back. After your pious deeds are over. So it's like holidaying. Swarg is like holidays. Anyways. So, the cowherd boys, went actually to these Brahmanas. So they were performing yagna. And cowherd boys humbly, as per the approved method of begging, they went and offered obeisances to the Brahmanas. And interestingly, Krishna said to the to the cowherd boys, don't take my name. Don't take my name in front of those smart Brahmanas. They'll not give you anything. Krishna was dead sure about it. But he was even doubtful about Balram. Why? Why he was doubtful about Balram? And in the name of Krishna, they will surely not give you anything. Because the point with the smart Brahmanas is, these guys are always very caste-oriented people. Now, they are Brahmanas, highly, elevated Brahmanas. And Balram was Kshatriya. So indeed, Kshatriya should give, some donations or whatever austerities they do, they should give it to the Brahmanas. But here the opposite was happening. And Krishna said, don't take my name. Why? Krishna was his Nand Maharaj's son. He was not even Kshatriya. When he went to Mathura, then people started calling him Kshatriya. But right now, Krishna was being called as a cowherd boy, he was being called a Vaishya. So Krishna was not even Kshatriya, he was Vaishya, the third level. Oh my God, so the smart Brahmanas will not even respect Krishna for that. So, but the Brahmana wives knew that Krishna is the ultimate goal of our life. And the smart Brahmanas did not even give prasad, the offerings, to Krishna. This is completely opposite. Not willing to give anything for Krishna, and here willing to give everything for Krishna. These are the opposites. And they both opposites were living in the same family. There's another story about it. You must be like, in a family, a person is a devotee, like maybe yourselves. And the other members may not be devotees or good enough a devotee. They will eat everything, all sorts of, things. They will not even offer to the Lord deities. Leave apart onion, garlic, they will start, taking a lot of non-vegetarian food and a lot of bhakshanam. Eating the non-eatables also. So, therefore, we should learn from this very thing, that in every family you will find this kind of a situation. Now, these wives were the most elevated of all the devotees. Krishna was performing his pastime to give darshans to these wives of the Brahmanas. So how elevated are they? Krishna performed just one pastime for them, dedicated one pastime for them. What more can you think about? For such people also had to suffer, the restrictions and the kind of behavior or the kind of different philosophical understanding within their family. Right? The Karmakand philosophy is completely opposite to our thinking of Vaishnavas. So in any family this will happen. So what we need to do? We need to learn from the Brahmana wives. What? Leaving everything behind just for Krishna. They understand the family is temporary, but Krishna is the ultimate goal. He is eternal. We are his parts and parcels. Our only duty and the only duty is to love Krishna and lovingly serve him. And that's called pure devotional service. And that's what we only need to do for anything we can compromise for Krishna. If Krishna needs something, we should be willing to give up anything. Absolutely anything in terms of our sense gratification. When these smart Brahmanas were performing yajna. So regarding that yajna also, there are 11 most important things that are part and constituents of a yajna. First is the desh you are living in, the place. Place is most important. Yajna cannot be performed anywhere. You have to have a appropriate place for it. So yajna was performed. So desh is important, kala is important, the time, because Karmakand is everything is minute by minute perfectly has to be done in time. If it has to be done at 8 a.m., so 8 a.m., that's it. So this tithi is very important for that, tithi and the timing. So kala is very important for that. And then prathak dravya is whatever offering we are giving, offering into the yajna, kunda, are called prathak dravyas. Then there is mantra, the Vedic mantras that we chant during the yajna. Then tantra is also whatever things we have. Agni is the lowest level of the first demigods start from the consciousness of Agni. Agni is the first demigod. Uske upar then there are other demigods also. But Agni is the first demigod. So Agni is actually pure. So Agni. Then the Ritvik. The Ritvik means the learned performer of sacrifice. For Yajmans, he will do all the sacrifices. And Devata. The Devatas are the demigods, starting from Agni and the higher ups. They also come to offer into the Yagna Kundas, because ultimately the goal is Vishnu. And then Yajman, the person on whose behalf the whole thing has to be performed. Usually, when these things are done to Yajman, sometimes the Brahmanas can become Yajman, or sometimes the king will come with a family, he will sit down as Yajman, and Brahmanas as Ritiks will perform the sacrifice. But here in this sacrifice, there was one very important aspect. The Brahmana wives were very much decorated with so many ornaments and beautifully decorated. Srimad Bhagavatam defines they were very beautifully decorated. Like they, when ladies go for a party, they are so much, jeweled and decorated, and they keep a lot of makeup and stuff like that. So they were perfectly, decorated themselves, then ready for the yagna. They were very much ready for the yagna. They prepared food, decorated themselves, decorated the food, everything was there in place. And at that point, so Brahmanas along with their wives had to be Yajman. If you must have performed some karmakand or Vedic sacrifices, you may understand that a person doesn't sit alone. He has to sit with his wife or some other partner. You have to be sitting with. So for Brahmanas, their wives were equally important. Otherwise, without wives, the Vedic sacrifice could not have been completed. Without wives, the Vedic sacrifices would have been completed. So wives were very important for that sacrifice. Now these need to understand. They were the showstoppers. Without them, the show will not go on. The yagna will not happen just because of the wife's absence. And now, the yagna, like ghar mein, if in your family, some very important ritual is going to be happen, the whole family members and your relatives and the whole society is gathered there. And the most important person, the Yajman, the other half of the Yajman, decides to go out and do something else. That was the situation of the wives. In front of whole society, these wives were literally rushing up to Krishna. Because Krishna wants us there. So what is the use of being a part of this sacrifice, this yagna, when Krishna wants me there? Wow, wonderful. That was the consciousness. Oh, what will people say? Log kya kahenge? That's another phrase in our society. Log kya kahenge? What will people say? No. Let me complete it, then go to Krishna. No. Krishna is hungry. Oh my God. Krishna is hungry, so I need to immediately leave everything apart and feed Krishna. And that's how Yashoda Maya was. And Srila Prabhupada explains that these ladies saw Krishna, as their paramour, which is like, their boyfriends. So they had that kind of a very strong attachment with Krishna, right? So irrespective of them the whole family was waiting them to be going to yagna, they decided to go to Krishna. Against all these familial, religious, social affairs and rules and regulations, kept them once on the one side, and other side they went to Krishna. This is the situation. Why? Because they were fully in love. They were always discussing about Krishna. Dhyayato vishyam pumsa sangaste shupanayate. It's not about Maya, it's also about Krishna. This formula also applies to Krishna. How? When you keep thinking about Krishna over and over, and the beautiful Krishna in direct loving affair, you start developing very strong, affection for him. And that's where these ladies, they saw Krishna, and they saw, what did they saw in Krishna? A blackish complexion with golden garments. They always were thinking and talking about Krishna. This time they saw Krishna. They went forward with the food items, all they could have, taken with themselves, took all of it and went to Krishna. And they saw Krishna, this beautiful thing here. They saw Krishna, how they saw? Krishna in a blackish complexion and with yellow or golden garments. And then, a nice Vajanti mala, a nice garland in Krishna's neck. and a peacock feather. And Krishna was beautifully painted with some minerals they're writing. So, he was being painted, decorated beautifully. So they were also beautifully decorated like queens. And Krishna was also decorated like a cowherd boy. But for them, Krishna was so beautiful. Right? So bodily consciousness they already left behind with the family and society. The whole what thing went with is the soul. And there, you see, some ladies were not being allowed by their families to go. They also went. But their bodies being locked, their bodies were being locked in the house, their own homes. So bodies were not being allowed, they left their body. Left their bodies, which means they died there and there itself. That was the affection. If I don't allow you to meet someone, will you die for that person? It's worth it if it is Krishna. Wow. It was suicide. No, it was not suicide. Just they went to meet Krishna. So, and then they seeing Krishna. And then they looked like, Krishna was looking like a dancing actor on the theatrical stage. Theatrical, when there is a theater, right? And a person goes on the stage and performs a dance there. So he's ready with. So Krishna was like, standing with one of the friends here, and his shoulder, he was keeping his hand. And Tribhanga Mudra, like this Krishna was standing, exactly like this. But not with a flute, but with a hand on. One hand is a flute, and the other hand is with his cowherd boys. We were standing like, this is how, girlfriends, boyfriend, all these things in the movies being showed out. But this is real Krishna, wherein all the movies have copied their shows. So holding the lotus. On the other hand, he's not holding the, flute, but lotus. Lotus flower. And lily flowers, small little lily flowers, he keeps on both his ears. It smells very nice. And then Tilak was there. And Krishna was charmingly smiling. Charmingly smiling. Why charmingly smiling? Because they were seeing Krishna as a paramour, as a boyfriend. So how will Krishna look like? Smiling. And now, as Prabhupada mentioned, that they were seeing Krishna eye to eye, face to face. And then through their eyes, Krishna went into their hearts. They have already given their hearts to Krishna, but this time, through their eyes, Krishna went into their heart. And this is exactly what happens. This is exactly how Krishna enters. Why? You see, remember Devaki, Vasudev and Devaki were being shown. Krishna showed his four-hand form, right? Four-hand form to both of them, the Vishnu form. And then Krishna said, okay, now I'll do my pastimes. So Krishna, first they were able to see through their eyes, and through the eyes, Krishna went to the heart of Vasudev. Right? And similarly, then from there he went to the heart of Devaki and then into Devaki's womb and then performed his pastime. Similarly, it happens here. Same happened with the gopis. So either we are understanding the mechanism on how Krishna enters our hearts and purifies us. So Krishna has to be there in our hearts. So we need to clean our hearts. Cheto darpana marjanam. That is the essence, right? And so Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. What is that? This is Sarva dharman parityajya. All the dharmas of family and society left behind and going to Krishna. So this is how we should learn from the Brahmana wives. Probably we may not be able to learn enough from the gopis, but at least we can learn from the Brahmana wives that they have left their family then and there just to meet Krishna. So we should also understand family matters are good, they're good, but not good enough as compared to serving Krishna. So most of you have come forward and given up your lives for Krishna. You have kept behind your family matters and prioritized your loving devotional service of Krishna. So you may have a little idea of what it means. When initially you may have come, you must have literally cried also within your hearts few times. Oh, what I have done with my mom, my father, they have loved so much for me, and now I'm not able to serve them, reciprocate to them. But we need to understand this, as Prabhupada says, that if you try to serve every leaf of a tree, it's very stupid. It's very stupid to give water to every single leaf of a tree. It is smart to give water to the roots. How many of you give water to the roots of a plant? Roots or leaves? How many of you will water the plant with roots? Raise your hand. Anna? None of you will go and start watering all the leaves. If it's just 4 or 5 leaves in a plant and a decorative plant, that is a different story. But we're talking about the whole tree. So smart and best and intelligent person will always go and give water to the roots. And so you have understood the essence of all the Vedic Shastras. If you are willing and ready to serve Krishna at the expense of absolutely everything and anything in your life, in the society and in the material world, if you are ready and willing, you probably can understand the Brahmana vibes. Okay? So this is what, they're wonderful, a lot of more learnings, but then because, time is over, so we have to stop here. So here we'll stop, and and also just one last thing is, Krishna then blessed all of them. Okay, you go back. Krishna said, you go back. They said, now we have left everything. Nobody will accept us. Krishna said, no. You go back, one will accept you, and they will actually respect you for the action you have taken. You have left everything, still they will respect you for this. And when they came back, the Brahmana wives came back, actually the Brahmanas were waiting for them. The whole yagna was waiting for them. Then they went with their husbands, sat on the yagna as yajmans, and then performed the sacrifice. They were all, no, you have done good thing. No, come back. Let's please do that. So don't think that you will always be disgraced for what you're doing. Initially, you may be disgraced for what you're doing, but in a longer term, people will develop a lot of respect for prioritizing Krishna over any other affair. Right? So here we'll stop. Thank you so much for tolerating me. I was just trying to share a few things that I've got from Prabhupada's purports and his writings, and just trying to share out with all of you. So any devotee wants to share something or probably has some question, then probably they can. Prabhuji wants to share something. Yes, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji के बाद.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा, बहुत सुंदर, धन्यवाद। आपने जो शरणागति का सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य बताया, तो भागवतम में एक जगह और अन्य पुराण में बताया गया कि किसके लिए, भगवान के लिए किसको किसको छोड़ा जा सकता है। जैसे रावण है तो विभीषण ने जो है अपने भाई को छोड़ दिया, माँ को जैसे कैकेयी को भरत ने छोड़ दिया, उसी तरह यज्ञ पत्नियों का भी नाम आता है कि उन्होंने जो है मतलब भगवान के लिए जो है अपने पत्नियों को छोड़ दिया। तो भाई छोड़ा जा सकता है, जैसे शुक्राचार्य तो बलि महाराज ने अपने गुरु को छोड़ दिया, तो ब्राह्मण पत्नियों का एक बहुत भगवान से है। दूसरा एक पॉइंट ये भी है कि उसमें श्रवण की महिमा के बारे में इनको ज़रूर बताया जाता है कि यदि हम अच्छे से सुनते हैं, ये जो ब्राह्मण पत्नियां थी तो मथुरा में इन्होंने जो है बार बार जो है वृंदावन के जो गोकुल की जो फूल बेचने वाली जो मालिनी होती हैं, तो उन्होंने भगवान के बारे में बार बार महिमा बताई थी, तो उनकी बहुत ही उनसे अटैचमेंट थी। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्णा, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल, थैंक यू प्रभु। इसरा जी वंश जी।
इस वाली स्टेज में कृष्ण की कितनी उम्र रही होगी?
हाँ,
कृष्ण की कितनी उम्र रही होगी?
कृष्ण की
हाँ, वाली
इस समय
स्टेज में, हाँ जी।
कितना हो गया था? 7 साल के आसपास, 7-8 साल के आसपास ना। हाँ, इतना ही एज था कृष्ण का।
हाँ, प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा। प्रभु जी जैसा कि आपने बीच में बताया कि जो है कि कोई वैदिक यज्ञ जो है बिना वाइफ के कंप्लीट नहीं होता है, बीच में ऐसा कुछ आया था बीच में। तो प्रभु जी ये जो हमारे ब्रह्मचारी हैं, सन्यासी, इनका क्या होगा प्रभु जी? इनका तो पूरा ही नहीं होगा कोई।
ये तो करवाते हैं। एक्चुअली जो ब्राह्मण दीक्षित भक्त होते हैं वो जो हैं वो पुरोहित जो होते हैं या जो ऋत्विक होते हैं उनके साथ में ही बैठते हैं यज्ञ को पूरा करने के लिए, और वो डेली यज्ञ करते हैं। वो यजमान नहीं होते, वो तो स्वयं ही ऋत्विक होते हैं। इसलिए उनको टेंशन नहीं है ना। कई बार ऐसे यज्ञ किए जाते हैं मंदिर में जिसमें कि सारे ब्राह्मण दीक्षित भक्तों को बुलाया जाता है और वहाँ पर बैठ के, क्योंकि उनको गायत्री भी करना होता है तो वहाँ पर उसका बहुत महिमा है, तो उनका कार्य अलग हो जाता है, वो यजमान वाला कार्य नहीं करते हैं। हरे कृष्णा। कोई और कोई प्रश्न पूछना चाहते हैं या शेयर करना चाहते हैं? ओके, तो यहाँ रुकेंगे आज। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, हिताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।